Right.
Hey everybody, we're back again. This is WABS, West Atlanta Bourbon Society. We are doing tonight a rye bourbon or rye whiskey fight tonight. We have upgraded to, as you see, tasting mats, and we have each one in an individual glass so we can kind of smell it and get to nose it and talk about it, each one with the other ones in comparison. With me tonight, I have
Zakia.
Leslie.
And again, I'm Kevin. So let's delve into it. The first one we have is right here. It is number A3. We name all A's. We put numbers on the bottom of the bottles. We did it completely blind, where we don't know which one's which. And we'll talk a little bit about this one. I got a little bit of mint tea, vanilla clove. If you look at it, it has real good legs on it. It's real dark. It was one of the darker ones that we had. It was real thick, buttery, oily, a little bit of smoke. It lingers and it's a full mouthfeel. How did you feel about it?
Yeah, it was one of the top ones of the night, I think, for everyone across the board. So, it scored pretty high. So yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty
What do you
good.
think, Les?
Yeah, I thought it had a good aroma and taste and a nice smooth finish. It had the definite aroma to like a earthy, smooth, sweet bite with a light vanilla kind of clove taste to it and a nice smooth finish to it.
Yeah, it was very good. We had 4 people here tonight. One that drank the flight and then passed out in that bedroom that you see back there in the back. So he's not with us right now because he has to go to work at like 4 o'clock in the morning. The good thing is he makes the donuts for us, so we let him go to sleep.
Yum yum.
Right, yum yum makes the donuts.
Indeed.
So the mean score, we had 4 people scored this. It scored 93, 90, 92, and 94 for a mean score of 92.25. This was the number 1 bourbon, and the winner is
Dun, dun, dun.
Bam! Kentucky Owl 11-year rye, batch 1 from Kentucky Owl. Zakia has tasted this same bottle. If you look back on our post, Zakia here has been in this tasting. Go look at our videos. She did a tasting on this. And what did you say about it?
Right before.
It was terrible. I don't know what changed between now and before, but
Don't worry. What I whispered to them is, I think you brushed your teeth right before.
maybe so. It could have been, but I did not like it the first time.
She really kicked herself on this bottle, guys. Y'all
Yeah.
have to go back and watch that video. Watch that video and how I was talking about, oh man, this is beautiful. And she was like, ah, tastes like crap.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's hilarious.
I didn't even think it was that one. I'm like, you sure it was that one?
Like, you kept on looking at the bottom. I was like, that's the number that's on the bottom.
I was like, okay, yeah. I did not expect that to be that one. Indeed. I was surprised.
So that was number 1. So number 2 was A5, which was number 4 on our tasting mat.
A6.
A5.
Number
5. No, we're not going to number 2. We're going to.
Are you jumping straight to the next good one?
Well, yeah, we're doing it in
In
ranks.
the one that won, right? Yeah, the one that won number 2.
Yeah, that was A5.
Yeah, so number 2 slot was A5, which was the 4th bourbon that we tasted tonight. So if everybody goes to the 4th bourbon, the smell on it, I had notes of butter, honey, caramel, a little bit hot, but I got some nut. The
Had
finish
a creamy banana with the cherry almond like
Yeah.
flavors.
Right. I'm sorry. Yes, number 4 was baking spice, butter, almond, thick and oily. So it was real thick and oily. It had cherry and buttery, and it lingers on the mouthfeel. So both 1 and 4 were real thick on the palate. They were real thick types of bourbon or rye whiskey. Real thick, real oily, viscous. What do you think?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah.
You liked it? Okay.
Yes,
Thought it was
very
good.
much so. Mm-hmm.
So out of everybody liked it. The score on this one was 89, 80, 93, and 87 for a total of 87.25 mean score. And that bottle was
Slide it around.
Sarah Algram's favorite rye. If you're watching, Sarah and Brad, we appreciate y'all over there at It's Bourbon Night. She loves this stuff. Pikesville Rye was the number 2. Number 2 was Pikesville Rye. It won close second at 87.25 to the 92.25 of the Kentucky Owl.
You're thinking about it.
Colgate.
Colgate.
Let's see.
That one is very buttery, very rich. It's really good. I'm surprised at that because the number 3 bottle, which was actually the third one we tasted. It's funny, this number 3 and the third winner number 3, bronze, goes to and this hurts my heart, guys. Hochstadters 16-year rye. Hochstadters 16-year reserve straight rye whiskey that cost me $200 and a kidney came in bronze and pretty far away from these two. So, but to just talk about it a little bit.
I was about to say you might want to describe why it came that far away.
It was buttery honey. It had no smell to it. It was caramel. It was a little young, everybody thought. Everybody thought this was the younger bottle, which is crazy because it's 16 years. It is the oldest bottle out of all these that we have here. It is the oldest bottle, but it smelled young and hot. It tasted young and hot. It had a little bit of nut to it, and it had a short finish. Everybody was talking about the fact that it had a real short finish to it.
I don't know if it was a short finish. I think it was very dry finish.
Dry finish.
And I think that's what made it seem so young, is that it was like over dry.
Over dry, okay.
So it was very much that wood dry,
Okay.
like making. You remember when we were tasting it and we were thinking it had that
Cottonmouth. Is that the one
that
that said
cottonmouth? It was the cottonmouth pecan like finish that we were just like very dry cottonmouth.
A cottonmouth to it, yeah, okay.
And it kind of dropped it off, falling short.
And that's crazy because if you go back, guys, and look at my post on Hochstadters, I told everybody it was the best thing since sliced bread. We reviewed it. We thought it was phenomenal. We were like, oh, it's a wonderful rye. It's great. But yeah, it just fell off a little bit.
I'll show you when you put it up against other ones, how it fares out.
And when you don't have the bottle, and you don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. It's funny how it changes the perception of things. The number 4 bottle was... this is a local in Kennesaw, Georgia. It's called Lazy Guy Distillery. It was 5th article, 1887. It's distilled from grain and aged at least 8 months in oak barrels. Zakiya, you want to talk about this? You said it's also mixed with chocolate malt. Mm-hmm. Okay, you want to talk a little bit about your bottle?
Yeah, it's like we said, it's from Kennesaw, Georgia, and I thought it was kind of unique because we actually tried it they were at Whiskeys of the World. So, trying it there, I thought it was pretty good. Yeah. So, it was something different because it was, the rye and the chocolate malt put together.
Right. So it had a little bit of barley with with
Well,
the
Well,
rye.
not barley. It's actually chocolate malt.
Malt. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's actually chocolate malt. So the whole time we were talking about how we picked up the coffee notes and we picked up the cocoa. Everybody immediately picked up those things
Yeah.
from that,
Right.
which was pretty good. But it didn't. I mean, it didn't rate all that great,
Yeah.
you know, because I guess it's not like what you expect from a rye to have.
Right.
So I mean, it didn't come in dead last, but I guess for something different, you know. I think for the most part, most of us thought, you know, it was okay,
Yeah.
you know. So it's just something different, something unique. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we got sour, grassy. I got burnt rubber and tobacco. I don't know where I got burnt rubber from.
Yeah.
I said it had a bad aftertaste, but it did. I did have that coffee aftertaste. And what did you say, Les?
I thought it had a very much a brass, earthy, fig aroma to it. It was a very much a strong bite in the smell of it,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like an old wet basement. The taste kind of made me think of like tobacco leaves and very much that cocoa vibe to it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really taste so much the coffee side to it, but I just felt like it was a very rich, but you know, it wasn't like the worst. It just wasn't something that I'm like raving about.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So the scores on this one came back 79, 78, 84, and 73 for a total of 78.5 on this one. And then the last one, which happened to be the fifth one, the last one we tasted, was the Jim Beam Rye. So the Jim Beam Rye was number 5, if we were to
Place them in order.
place them in order. So that's the order right there.
Yeah.
Jim Beam Rye being the fifth one and the one that was least liked. Its scores were 78, 68, 70, and 86, with a total of 75.5. Now this for me was number 4, but yet after all the ratings it went down to overall opinion number 5. I thought it was, fruity apricot, a little lemon. It was thin. It had no thickness or legs to it like the first 3. The first 3 had, a thicker mouthfeel.
Yeah.
It had no burn though. I had a little bit of damp basement
Yeah. You see.
taste in
Very
there.
light.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
No legs.
No legs, as
Nothing.
well as a little bit of musky and leafy, but it had a clean finish. So how do y'all feel about number 5?
I mean, at times it was hard to even pick up on the smell, pick up on the taste. And once we realized the proof, because it's only 90 proof, so I was like, okay, so they really watered it down compared to the other ones that were like 123, 110.
Right.
So the ones that we really like were the higher proof ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I assumed if you added even a drop of water to this, it would just
would
It
fall.
go away, right?
it was
would
just
fall apart.
it was so light and just thin, yeah.
Yeah, as she
so-
said, this is the lower proof out of all of them. It's 90, as she mentioned, 110, 106, 123, and 100, where the 90 is the lightest one. I think the flavor matched the proof
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
it. It was very,
Right.
as she mentioned, we were trying to grab the flavors and the senses that was connecting to it. It did take us a minute. We did feel like we had like a light mint, kind of a fruity sense of like, connecting to a lemon or a fresh, where the finish was very light and thin. It wasn't a very full body one that you could definitely tell that it was a younger one.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was, and then again, like I said, I think we found that not only do we find in this tasting that price is not comparison to taste, we also found that the top two came A from Bardstown and B were both 110 proof. Pikesville Rye is 110. It's only aged 6 years, whereas the number one is aged 11 years, but it's a Kentucky Owl brand at 110.6. It's both these are in Bardstown. Both these are made in Bardstown, Kentucky, and they're straight Kentucky rye whiskeys. The Hochstadters is made in Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. I think there's something to be said about Bardstown. People say, the old stuff, the old Kentucky Bardstown juice, the Stitzel Weller, all that we talk about, it has shown that tonight that really does make a difference, because the two bottles that were in the number 1 and 2 slot were bottles that were made in Bardstown, Kentucky. All the rest of them were made either in other states or, Jim Beam. I thought Jim Beam would have rated higher, but I think the problem is that one was 90, whereas these were 110. I would love to see what a Jim Beam Rye 110 proof.
I would say probably next time to try to compare that on
Right,
the
that would be
they
a
match a
neat
little better.
comparison. I was disappointed at the Hochstadters being it's a 16-year product and $200 versus the Kentucky Owl, which is $139, the Pikesville Rye, which is $50 to $60. We really found out a lot about Pikesville tonight. And again, going back to it's bourbon night, Brad and Sarah, they rave. Sarah loves Pikesville. And I see now why, because it was a close second to the number one, which is the Kentucky Owl, Kentucky Owl 11-year rye whiskey. I gotta mess with it, man. You got to go back and watch that post. Everybody give her a hug. Right. Her dreams are shattered right now. She is
Don't worry, we're picking them up for her.
And we had an opportunity to buy a couple bottles of it, and everybody's probably kicking themselves in to go get that bottle. At even less than cost, because it was $125 at the store. I ain't gonna tell which store it was on here. I don't want y'all to run over there and try to get it. But they had it on the shelf. It was crazy. An allocated bottle, Kentucky Owl on the shelf. I told them I will shop there until I could be 90, and I will shop there, because they left 5 of them on the shelf. I pulled 3. It was fantastic, and that's one of my favorite bottles. My favorite ryes, period, because I don't even like rye. I'm a more bourbon-centric and wheated bourbon. So for me to be a wheated guy, rye is the complete opposite pendulum of my scale. But yet, being a wheated guy, and I know there's a few of y'all that watch my posts and videos here, and watch our posts and videos, and one of y'all, his taste buds are in the same wheelhouse as me. Go get that Kentucky Owl Rye. You'll love it. You'll love it. And even to the taste buds of the people that like the higher ryes, because Zakia here likes the burn. She likes the Bookers, the high proof, heavier bourbons, and she likes the rye. So for her to even co-sign on that in a blind tasting, again, gives accolades to Kentucky Owl and Pikesville. With their bourbons here. So, wow, what a night, guys. Yeah. I'm surprised. I don't know, how do y'all feel? I mean, I feel stunned.
I think a couple of the bottles did catch me off guard on the order that we picked them.
And what was funny was we were all consistent with the taste. So we all had the same palate, the same general tastes. Now, some of us had little things different, like, the number 2 that, I said had burnt rubber, but yet they got more of a coffee and a chocolate, unsugared chocolate note to it. And like I said, they liked that one. The consensus was everybody else liked this one way better than I did. That's why it came in number 4 rather than number 5, because I scored it number 5 on mine.
I think the heaviest thing for me was just the smell to overcome, which when I started overlooking the smell and just really tasting the flavors, in the finish. You know, I had to give it a little higher rating.
Yeah.
But
It
that
definitely had a
smell
different
is
smell.
definitely
Yeah.
something that you can't fall into heavy.
Right.
And the coffee going back into it, I mean, it is really different. It is different.
Yeah.
It just didn't perceive me as a rye. So with me doing rye tasting, it kind of turned me off. But if I was drinking this by itself, to be honest with y'all, I actually do like it by itself. I don't like it as a rye, but
Yeah, that chocolate malt probably is what throwing you off. They added that chocolate. It makes you wonder why they
It's like
decided to go that
cocoa
route.
instead of like that like when people think chocolate, they think sweet and like candy-ish. But I think for me, when I taste the chocolate, I'm thinking more of the cocoa, the rich raw cocoa. That's the fresh point that makes it more of that.
now I
That
think this would be
definitely was there.
perfect in your
Yeah.
coffee in the morning. So if
It
you
would
want to
be.
spike your coffee, this would be what you.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
There you go.
actually.
Hey,
It's
I'm making new
not bad
ideas.
for,
I'm gonna have to do that.
Irish
Yeah.
I'm gonna
coffee.
do that to get
You
to get
do
through
that.
bottle.
Video yourself. We're gonna put it on Wabs. We're gonna put it on our Facebook and our YouTube. I need you to do that. Okay. I need you to get up in the morning. Okay. With your house coat on. And take the video of us watching you in the morning, getting up to
Oh, my
Folgers
goodness.
and Lazy Guy in your cup. You know, we need to see that. It's
That
raw
might
here.
be
We're
the
raw.
only way.
Don't
Yeah.
worry,
Wax.
me and Zaki will turn it in. We'll both be cheersing.
Cheers. I might even do that. I would like this in my coffee. I really would. I mean, I like I said, I gave it a lower score because it didn't taste like a rye to me. It didn't taste traditional, but now knowing that it has chocolate malt in it and chocolate oat, that changes my perception. So now I'm like, okay, well I see why I put it as that. I probably would put it a little higher up on 4. I think to be honest with everybody, the way this came in tonight was exactly the way it should have came in tonight.
Yeah.
The 4 of us were spot on with our tastings, and even though it hurts me and pains me that I spent $200 on Hochstadters,
No,
and it
what
didn't come
pains
in
him
number
is
1 or
his
2.
pocket.
Right, my pocket is hurting right now.
His taste buds aren't.
My taste buds are. I'm mad at my taste buds. They're on punishment.
Because they
They're-
told the truth.
They're sent They're sent
Oh,
to the
yeah.
room without dinner. They're sent to the
Yeah.
room without dinner because they lied and no, they didn't lie. They told the truth,
They told
which
the
is
truth
not what I
and-
wanted them to do. I wanted them to lie and pick the bottle that was the most expensive. And my taste buds couldn't do that. But what's funny is we have reviewed 2 of these bottles out here, and the reviews have kind of completely flopped. You thought that was kind of bad, and it flopped to good to number 1 in your opinion.
Yeah.
This one we both thought were fantastic, and it's number 3, and not even a close 3 to number 1. It was in the 80s, low 80s.
Had a little gap.
Right.
Well, yeah, it was low 80s, but I had that for myself at number 2. So Kentucky I scored 90, and then Hochstadters I scored at 82. But Pikesville was, I put it at 80. So,
So
it
you did
was
have that number
like,
2. So I'm the one who probably bumped that because I put 1 and 4 at 93 and 94. So I'm the one who hit that one back. I'm the one who pushed that one back further. What did you
That
put
one
yours
actually
at?
landed in my number 3.
That was in your number 3?
That was my the number 3.
Wow.
okay.
So my number 1 was the Kentucky Owl. My number 2 was the Pikesville. 3 was your bottle. Number 4 was Lazy Guy, and last was Jim Beam. So mine are
So
pretty much
she was
dead on
exactly
point.
spot on, right? So I mean, we rated these properly. Oh, and by the way, guys, we did not give any bourbon to the baby. The baby's not drunk over there. Everybody say
No.
hi to the baby. I have a 14-week-old, and how old is
Wednesday is 6 months.
6 months. So we all have a lot of us in the group have younger kids, and
That's why I've been out of some of the videos.
right. That's why she's been
Yes.
out of some of the videos. But this one, she wanted to join. She wanted to try Rise because she likes Rise. So I told her, come on down and bring your baby with you. So hope that doesn't offend anybody. Hope that doesn't nobody. Oh my God, they got a baby drunk over there. No, we didn't get drunk yet.
No babies were harmed. During
No
the
babies were
filming
harmed
of
during
this.
the No babies were harmed during the making of this post. So you have it, guys. So number 1 was Kentucky Owl with a 92.25.
And this makes you feel better. Thick bottle.
There you go. Number 2 was the Pikesville at 87.25. Number 3 was the Hochstadters 16-year reserve at $200, but it was number 3 at 82 points. Number 4 was the Lazy Guy chocolate malt infused rye whiskey, which came up at 78.5. And at the end was Jim Beam Rye, which came in at 75.5, which I think that was right on because the way we scored, 70 to 79 is something that's good for mixing. And I think that is good for mixing. That is something that would be really nice for mixing. I think this one got the short end of the bargain because of the coffee and the chocolate. Mm-hmm. But I think it would be fantastic in coffee.
Right.
And then these ones, I don't know what happened there. I don't know how this one wound up with the 200 bottle one at number 3.
It's all right. Yeah. You got to get over that.
I can't. I'm gonna cry. I gotta go upstairs and count my duckies now. I spent $200 on that bourbon, and it didn't even rate in the top 1 or 2.
Yeah. So
it's just craziness. But that's what we got tonight, guys. So remember, keep drinking good bourbon. Cheers, guys. We'll see you next time. WAS, West Atlanta Bourbon Society. Check us out. And hey, send us your samples. We will do a review. We love doing reviews. Distilleries, send us your samples. Distilleries, send us stuff. We'd love to have you on our reviews. We'd love to talk about you. But right now we're buying these bottles of ourselves. So it's coming out of our own pocket, and we're not making any money off of this. We're spending our own money to be able to make these. So please send us samples and other reviewers. We want to hang out with y'all. We want to do reviews with you. Whiskey Blooded, we're looking forward to being in a review with you. We're looking forward to doing a review with you. When you come down here to Atlanta, come see us. You can come stay with me. I got you. And we've got Bourboner, Blake, Ryber. Yeah, so hit us up. Hey, how y'all doing? Anyway, we'll see y'all later. Hit us up. WAS, West Atlanta Bourbon Society. Cheers, guys.
Cheers and
cheers to number 1. All
right.
All right, guys. Good night.
Cheers.
That was